Nikaiju, Bane and Braz, back again for our second Controllers and Coffee. Today we're going to be discussing the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show, um, and stay hydrated. Uh,
Controllers and water.
Controllers and water. Well, it's late at night for you, so yeah, I'm not sure you're drinking coffee. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll be talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show and Diablo Immortal, the new Diablo game that came out a couple days ago. So, for those of you who don't know and that didn't watch, our first Controllers and Coffee, Bane and myself are both extremely large Star Wars fans. As you can see, Bane is 100% Sith. Go Vader.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you guys can't see it, but I have this epic picture of Vader on my desktop. I've had it there for years. So, and I don't plan on changing it,
I
despite.
also, I've got
But
blue
we'll
in my
get to it.
background, but don't judge me for
Yeah.
that. I am a Sith. Sith.
Uh,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, no, no. Go. I'll let you finish what you're saying.
I am Sith at heart. I absolutely love the whole Sith idea and Sith concept.
Mm.
But I do love the color blue. So that's why I've got blue in my background. It has nothing to do with the light side of the force or being a good guy or because we all know the Sith rule. All right, Bane. So
Yeah.
we talked offline about episodes 1 and 2 of Obi-Wan. And you were not, how can I say this nicely, satisfied, pleased?
I okay. No, I've been thinking about this because I don't want my early reaction to be what I come on air with. Okay. Because I know there were a lot of people that worked hard on this.
Hmm,
I know there are a lot of people that got great opportunities to be in a Star Wars, right?
right.
And I'm not just gonna go and shit on everything that they did. That's not my intention. And as a matter of fact, I do appreciate the effort at least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I definitely have things that I didn't agree with, or things that I thought could have been done better. There are also a lot of things that I thought were done very well,
Hmm,
um, and especially bringing back the big name actors. I mean,
yeah.
it was even though I was one of those that wasn't a giant fan of the prequels, or at least early on. Um, After episode three, they kind of grew on me,
Hmm.
as part of the canon. Um, but especially episode three, and I felt like the final lightsaber battle and the emotion somewhat, it came through finally.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They pulled it out.
Mhm. They did pull it out, and then it matured even better with the Clone Wars.
Right.
Um, and so I was happy that everybody came back,
Hmm.
that people came back. I was not happy with the performances of some of the new cast members, or I don't feel they were casted well. Um, and I won't. I don't want to get too.
Go for it, dude.
But
It's a conversation.
yeah. But the story, I can see where it's going. It's going to explain how Leia asked knew to ask Obi-Wan for help
Right.
at the beginning.
Yeah,
At the
that's
beginning
the
of
way
the
I see it going too.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm very interested to see that. Um, I think. Oh, okay. So to narrow it down and keep the chatter at to a minimum, um, I want to say that the thing that I liked the least was how Obi-Wan degraded over time. I didn't like how they portrayed him as somewhat of a, for lack of a better word, coward.
Now, do
And
you
spoil, huh?
you think he was a coward, or do you think he was just trying that hard to keep himself hidden and protect himself and protect, whatever other Jedi's were out there hiding?
Well, I mean, as good as an awesome an actor as Ewan McGregor as I saw, I mean, he definitely portrayed fear.
Right.
Um, and Of course, if there's anybody to be scared of,
It's
you
Vader.
know, yeah, it's Vader. So, but I don't know. I thought that he could have been at some point early on. He could have turned into something more of what he was.
Mm.
I can understand 10 years in the desert will do things to a person, but at the same time, he still is a Jedi, and he was supposed to be out there meditating with the masters, right?
Right, but if you,
But
I mean,
Yoda,
even if you watch it, he spends a lot of time trying to communicate with Qui-Gon Jinn,
right?
and
And
he's not. I mean, is that to tell us that for 10 years he's been trying to communicate with him, and he hasn't?
right.
You know,
So that's I don't know, but that was my biggest disappointment was just that Obi-Wan was more of a shell, and I absolutely understand that that was probably intended, but I think it was maybe taken a little bit too far, and into episode three and not episode three, the movie, episode three of Obi Wan
right,
that just aired. And make sure anybody that's watching this, if you haven't seen it yet, you got spoilers coming.
right.
But but the confrontation that happens in that, I feel um, definitely could have been better. Um, there should have been more emotion in that. I
Yep.
think I counted like one, two lines from Obi Wan. He was
Dur-
like,
During the fight,
"What have you become?" And that's it.
you're talking about
No,
during the actual fight.
right. So you just
Mm.
when they encountered each other on the planet's surface and like they didn't have anything to. Well, Vader had things to say. He was
Yeah,
like, well, he was pissed, of course, but I
right.
mean, Obi Wan was just running, and I was like, uh, I didn't. I thought they would have had more to say. I thought they would have had uh, something meaningful to say.
Well, I still think because when the third sister, what's her name, Riva, I think is her name,
Yeah,
when she ran into Obi-Wan, she told him Anakin was still alive. She's the one who told him Anakin was still alive. So I think a
right.
lot of the reason Obi-Wan, the character anyways, didn't have a whole lot of lines was just because he was in shock. He was like, okay, I got this picture. He's alive, but I don't think he was ready to run into Vader when, as Anakin as Vader. This is what you've turned into. This is what you've become. So that's why I think he may have been a lot of times just running, because one, he's a hero. There's a meme out there, and I absolutely love it. It says something along the lines of, when I
Uh,
grow up, I want to be a bad guy because bad guys walk everywhere. I mean, you don't ever see Vader running after anybody. you
it's like
know,
poof.
right?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Besides that, on the disappointment list, okay, as a lifetime, literally lifetime Darth Vader fan, um, I despised with a passionate hatred, the Sith style hatred, the fucking montage that they did, like Vader was getting ready to go to battle in a 1980s movie. You know what I'm talking
I
about,
do.
right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Like
about.
he's fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando snapping grenades to his belt,
I up Rambo. Yeah,
right?
sliding the knife in
I was,
the.
I, you know, a lot of times when I'm watching this stuff, it takes me a little while to figure out how I feel about it.
Mhm.
And I start thinking about it, but immediately, like this was one of those things. It was just immediately, I was like, "That is the cheesiest garbage I have ever seen," and I can't. And then I'm still speechless right now at that point because like he's snapping on arms and legs and shit, and I'm like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
It's like a Lego piece. Like they're building Vader
Right.
as a Lego.
Because it doesn't require it. Vader never required that heavy-handed touch,
Hmm.
right? Beginning of episode 4, all he had to do was walk in and breathe.
Right.
that was it.
Yep.
And then and then later on, I think it was Empire when when they they go to try to explain to him how the Millennium Falcon got away.
Hmm.
You guys can correct me. It's I'm a big fan, but it has been a while since I've seen the
First three.
original trilogy.
Yeah.
So, but when I think it was Nita goes down to explain, and then they you can barely see the top of his head as the
Yep.
helmet's
And the
coming
helmet's coming
down,
down. Yep.
right? It it never required that kind of heavy-handed touch
Mm.
to explain Darth Vader, and that was where I loved the end scene from Episode Two, was where they showed him in the back to tank.
Oh yeah.
That that was powerful. That was good. But Episode Three, when they're snapping limbs on him, he's not a fucking Lego set. Uh, So, but anyway, yeah, that I think more than Obi Wan's fear, I think um, that scene really was my biggest disappointment.
um.
But but I think, but other than that, I mean, the biggest point was like Vader was back,
Right.
and I don't know if that was James Earl Jones doing the voice.
So I did some research.
Damn, that was good.
I did some research
Yeah,
because I was thinking, and ever since they first started talking about Obi-Wan and Vader was going to be in the Obi-Wan series, I've always been thinking in the back of my head, if they do not get James Earl Jones to do the voice of Vader, it is not going to be the same. It just isn't.
yeah.
Well, sure as shit, these motherfuckers went out and brought back James Earl Jones.
Wow,
That
it
was
was
him.
him.
That was him. Yes.
Because you know what, I was fooled previously. Like, was it Rebels?
Mm,
I don't know. Somebody was doing the voice of Vader, and it was so good, so
yeah.
close
So close. Yep.
that I just like maybe it was a game, but I it even tricked my ears.
Mm. Yep,
So
I
I
did.
thought maybe
I had to do some research. I had to look it up, and
yeah,
yeah, James Earl Jones did the voice.
yeah.
So I was like, okay,
Um,
that automatically, that right there gains a lot of respect and a lot of props for me, because they brought back the original Darth Vader.
but yeah,
Uh,
the
when we were,
visuals are excellent.
yeah,
Hayden killed it. I
yep,
mean, I I can't say I was a fan of Vader's killing rampage as he's going through the street.
I thought that was great. I mean, that was again, we were talking about the hatred of the Sith. That's it.
But
I
see, that's
he but
that
he knows in order to draw out a Jedi, you're gonna have to injure and harm the innocent, and that's
that's
exactly what
the
he did.
thing, and that's the thing that I finally came to understand later was that's what he was doing. I
Right.
thought at the beginning it seemed like he was just throwing a tissy fit, like
Oh.
I can't find Obi-Wan and killing people. But um, but then I realized, okay, well, if he's trying to draw him out because he's Jedi are dumb, um,
Suckers.
right? Like so that's fine. I mean that's absolutely what he would do, but it
Yep.
was just it might have been a little over the top. I
Yeah,
would have
I
liked
thought
to
of.
have seen like they would just grab one person and like start pulling his limbs, stretching them out a little bit, something. I think
um,
that would have been enough, but
you
just
said
my opinion. Huh?
we were talking offline a day or two ago. Actually, it was
Yeah.
about episodes 1 and 2. You said something that really it really changed my thought and point of view of the episode because I personally I enjoy the first three episodes of Obi-Wan.
Right.
I thought it was good,
Yeah.
for what it was, a Star
No,
Wars
like I
TV
said, you
show.
have good point too.
For a
Yeah.
Star Wars TV show, I thought it was good. Um,
Yeah.
but you had said that the Inquisitors, they
Right.
are, I know, supposed to be Sith, and you said that the third sister Riva, she's just too pretty. She's too pretty to be a Sith.
It was
And
too clean. That that's so going. What I mean is just overall Disney Star Wars. Okay, if you
Mm,
go back look at the originals, everything's dirty, right? They put effects on everything, the clothes, the ships, the walls, the droids, everything was dirty, and it was a nasty place in the universe.
mm.
Now, whether it's production time or not, I'm not sure. But to me, the visuals in Disney Star Wars have always been a little too clean, a little too perfect, a little. Um, does that make sense? What I'm saying?
It does, absolutely, absolutely.
So, because I know it takes time to do that stuff, so it could be a production aspect where they're just okay, good enough, send it. um, but um, but yeah, but Reba, I talked about earlier. I thought the casting could have been different.
Mm.
I think somebody a little scarier could have worked well in that.
Right, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. She
And
doesn't
I've
portray a
actually never,
Sith.
yeah, I've
She's
never
too
seen that
pretty.
actress before. It could have been direction. I Maybe that's what they wanted her to do. Um, what do you think?
I think she should have been like I mean basically what you said. A different actress, could have been a little bit more intimidating. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? She's a very physically attractive woman, and that's great. But for a Sith, the third sister, who's
right,
supposed to be, because you know as well as I do, the more you use the dark side of the Force, the more physically altered you become.
right.
Your skin pales out, your skin goes gray, your veins are showing. She was too pretty
I
as
mean,
a Sith user.
the case in point. Look at the other Inquisitors.
Yeah, but the other Inquisitors are a different breed. They're a different
Well,
race.
yeah, I know, but I mean, there was even another female in there, and if the other female Inquisitor had been Riva instead, that would have been more believable.
Right? Yes, because she wasn't as pretty. She was an
Right.
alien. She was an alien. Um, and she just wasn't
But
as air quotes, pretty.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember what I said before, but I don't. It's not the pretty aspect that gets me because like I know in the books and other things, there's been Sith that were physically attractive. You know what I mean? Like they were like the not Revan. Um,
Darth Bane's assistant, or Darth Bane's number two, Xandra. Xandra.
yeah, her too. But I mean, there's been plenty of. I mean, depending on how you played Kotor,
Right.
Bastila. But my point is it's you don't have to be ugly to be a Sith. But
Right.
the
But
clean thing and not being intimidating enough, I guess,
hmm
is what got me.
yeah,
Is
I
what
agree.
what I had. So I mean, it's not so much the pretty thing. It's just and it didn't get the scary feel.
Right. I wasn't
Um,
right. I didn't feel like she was a Sith. I
right,
felt like she was just a pissed off person with a lightsaber.
right. So, but overall, I mean, like I said, I'm happy as a Star Wars fan to see it continuing.
Hmm.
Uh, really am. Um, I'm happy that everybody came back and gave it a shot, and we'll see how it goes. I just I hope it gets. I won't say better, but I hope it can at least continues at the level it is, and we don't end up with Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. Yeah. Well, they only got 3 more episodes to go. There's only
Yeah, I heard
there's
it's
only
only six this
six.
time.
Yeah, there's only six
Yeah.
episodes in the season, so that's a
Uh,
little disappointing on another aspect.
yeah.
I recently just started rewatching that TV show Heroes, and it's 4 seasons, but it's got like 23 episodes per season, and I'm like, what
Yeah.
happened to those TV shows where you know you
Well,
it,
but yeah. Go ahead.
I miss episodes when you could watch for months on end and have the whole season. You know.
Well, they've gone to a bigger budget per episode, I think, and they're just with the effects and the bigger and bringing in the original actors back, things like that. So, and I think
Okay.
it's working. I, don't-
I
I
mean,
think
it
it's
is.
working.
It is. Again, so on a scale of 1 to 10,
Yeah,
I would probably rate this episode or this season so far, what we've seen at the midway point.
yeah.
I'd probably rate it about a 7, 7.5. Because I enjoy it, but I do there are things that I think are I wish they would change. I wish they could do differently.
Yeah. Um, I'd give it a probably a 6.
Mm.
I and that's purely for Vader.
That's for episode. You give episode 3 a 6. Wow.
I just yeah, oh, you know what? I did think of one other thing that I wanted to see. I
Hmm.
wanted to see Obi-Wan get punished a little bit more, like when he held him down in the
In
fire.
fire, yeah,
Yeah, I wanted to see him get like a little more,
charcoal.
little, little something, little something, something. Tickle torture, I don't care, but like you lop off one of his toes with a saber. I don't know, but I just felt like he deserved something
Yeah. Be-
because Sith very rarely get to win.
right.
So when I saw Vader like just whooping up on him and like appearing out of nowhere everywhere he went, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
But of course, from episode 4 that Obi-Wan eventually makes it
Right.
somehow.
Somehow.
But it, you could have had a little fun with it. You know, I don't know. Just saying. And maybe they'll have another encounter coming up.
Maybe.
Uh,
I want
anyway,
to. I'm trying to see if I can guess what's going to happen next. The at the end again. Spoilers for those of you that haven't watched it. At the end of episode 3, the third sister walks off with Leia. Is she gonna deliver Leia to Vader? Is is
probably.
is
Well,
Obi-Wan gonna go and miraculously rescue her? I'm curious to see where they go with it next. Because truthfully, I wasn't expecting to see. I
hmm,
wasn't expecting the TV show to go in this direction. With Leia, I didn't even think Leia was going to be in the TV show at all. I figured Luke would be just because it's Obi-Wan and he's on Tatooine. They're babysitting Luke, but I did not expect to see Leia, especially as big a part and as big a role as Leia has.
right.
So
Well,
we'll see. I'm excited to see how the next 3 episodes go and how the season pans out.
I was definitely surprised to see Leia also, but once I understood where the story was headed, like we talked about earlier,
Right.
um, where we're getting the explanation at the beginning of the New Hope.
Hmm.
I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they get there
Right.
because that was a lot of the fun of Rogue One
Right.
was
Yep.
finding out how they got to the beginning of New Hope with the Corellian Corvette
Yep. And the plans.
and the plans. Yeah,
Yeah. That was Yeah. I think that was probably the best thing about Rogue One was holy shit. That's how they did it.
right.
That's
And
how we got to this point to begin with.
you know what? I somebody should be Disney should be kissing that writer's feet that came up with that
For Rogue
that's
One.
for the idea for Rogue One
Yeah.
because that could lead into a lot of different you know plot pockets in
Yep.
the original trilogy where they can go in and well like just like they're doing
Right. Now,
you know
see, I think that's why was pretty disappointed with Boba Fett. Because with Boba Fett, I was hoping, and the picture I had in my mind of that show was going to be him before his tumble down into the Sarlacc. Because if you
Mm,
watch the original or series, he's not in every movie. He's mentioned, and he's got his cameos, his little 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes. You know, so what was he doing when he wasn't on screen during the movies? That's what they should have made the TV show about. Was
mm,
what he was
I,
doing
yeah,
during the original trilogy.
could see a movie on that.
Yeah, absolutely. That would have been a great TV
Something.
show
Yeah.
instead of
Anything to
equipping
redeem.
him with the Power Rangers, joining him up with the Power Rangers and trying to make him a mob boss on Tatooine. That
Yeah.
Boba Fett's a bounty hunter.
Well, even the mob boss idea at the beginning was cool to me. I was like, fuck yeah, take over, yes, let's take over Jabba's businesses and just be a badass.
Mm.
But he's like, no, I want to rule with peace. And I'm like,
Right. Right.
man, I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
I don't know what's going on. But
Yeah. He's supposed to be a badass, like you said. He's supposed to be a badass, and nobody's fucking with him. Nobody fucks with him. But yeah, I think that's probably that's probably the bottom of my list of uh, Star Wars TV shows.
TV, and
Yeah, but I
are
think
you talking about total or just the most recent stuff? I mean, you still got,
don't say
you
the
still
Christmas
got
classic. Don't say that Christmas
Uh,
classic.
uh, well, you know what? Disney brought them all back with pride. Every last one of those old TV shows are on the
Disney Plus.
cartoons,
Yep.
everything. They're all on Disney Plus. So
Yep.
I'm sure you can find something worse.
um, well, maybe the Ewoks
Yeah,
Christmas special. I don't think I remember liking that one
yeah.
too much.
But
Um, but yeah, out of the recent stuff, the Mandalorian is at the top of my list. Obi-Wan would have to be second, um, and then Boba Fett would be third. And that's
I
not
I
counting the animations, Clone Wars and Bad Batch and stuff like that.
uh, well, one oh, you know what? That does bring me back to a point that I wanted to mention though, and I wanted as a big props to Disney um in them meshing the live action and the animation.
The Clone Wars, or the clones sitting on the street.
Well, I mean, just bringing Cad Bane into Boba Fett, and then
Oh yeah,
um, the
best part
Inquisitors,
about that season.
right? And then Grand Inquisitor, or then
Mm.
The Inquisitors bringing them in from as the Rebels.
Yep.
So I mean, just I that took balls. I mean, it took guts to do that, to bring them in to the live action universe.
Right.
And, um, they did it well, pretty well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
I agree.
I still remember pointing at the screen when I saw when they had Cad Bane real small off in the distance.
Mm-hmm. The hat. That's yeah.
I was like, no, no, they
Yep.
didn't. No,
Yep.
no,
Yep. I
no.
saw the hat and was like, ooh, ooh.
It's like no, they
Yep.
didn't. They didn't do that. No,
Yeah,
they
but at
didn't.
least they
And I
made him
thought,
a badass. They kept him
hell yeah,
true to character.
right?
They kept him
Yeah.
true to character. He was a badass on the show. Um, again,
I
unlike
I
Boba
think
Fett.
that's where when the Star Wars TV shows when the new TV shows misstep, I think that's where they're going wrong. Is they're not staying true to character.
Right.
Um, and in a lot of these cases, or kind of missing the mark
Mm,
about what the fans like about each character. Like Boba Fett. Boba Fett was from our generation,
right.
and what we liked about Boba Fett was he was the badass that caught Han Solo,
Yep.
right? I mean, he was a bounty hunter, and he had the cool outfit,
Mm-hmm.
and like so. Well, just like we talked about a minute ago, they missed the mark on that because they brought him back and made him all. peace loving and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he did some butt kicking, eh, being a good guy, that's for sure. But that's not
Boba Fett's not a good
that's
guy.
not right.
Boba Fett's not a good guy.
Not good. He's not a good guy.
He's not.
um,
I mean, he's not necessarily a bad guy either. He's a bounty hunter. He does
yeah,
whatever he gets paid to do.
right.
But again, you just mentioned, he was we loved him for his badassery, and
Yeah,
as the bounty hunter that caught Han Solo. They could have made an entire show about his hunt and search for Han Solo,
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
and that
So
would
I
have
mean,
filled in a lot of gaps.
hopefully Disney gives you the credits when that movie comes out,
They ain't
and
giving
the
me
check
shit.
to go with it.
They ain't giving me
And
shit.
oh, one other thing I think they might be missing the mark on, and this is something I was thinking about very heavily this morning. Music.
Hmm.
Um, y- you know what? I did watch episode 3 kind of late last night. Did John Williams do? I gotta look it up, but did John Williams do the music for these?
I don't know. Let me look it up. Let me look it up.
They brought everybody else back,
Yeah.
and I judge myself. Actually, I don't judge myself. You know, Lord Vader judges me for not knowing. Um, but it wasn't. It was Star Wars esque,
Right.
but we didn't have the Star Wars combat music. Like I'm watching that lightsaber fight, and I realized I watched it again this morning actually before work, before I went out, because I was like, why did this not hit with me? What was wrong here?
Natalie Holt.
And then I realized what it was. The
The
music.
music. Yep.
The music n- wasn't as impactful as the original John Williams score combat music. Is that and if I'm off the mark on this, feel free to correct me. But
No, I
this is
absolutely agree. I mean, as well as I do. The music is what gets you into it. The music is what
right.
makes you feel what's going on and what's going to happen. You
So
know,
where did they? I'm just curious. I'm curious to find out where did they go off the rails on the music? What happened? Why are they not using hardly any of the original stuff?
I don't know.
They
Natalie
just not
Holt
want.
is the composer for the
Okay.
score for Obi-Wan Kenobi,
All right. Well,
and she sounds
this is whole.
familiar.
You know, I'm not crapping on your work. I'm not, but it's been 40 years. So like,
Hold on a second. Hold on. So it says in the next month, composer Natalie Holt, the first woman to score any live-action project in the Star Wars universe, will take fans once again to a galaxy far, far away with her score for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
uh,
But then here it says legendary composer John Williams unveiled his long-awaited theme song for Disney Plus series Obi-Wan Kenobi.
so maybe Mr. Williams did the theme song and the score was Holt.
Yeah, John Williams wrote the theme song for Disney Plus Star Wars show. Yeah,
So so yeah, I didn't. They needed the original music for that.
yeah, I agree.
They needed it for something as
Powerful.
powerful,
Yep.
and it wasn't. There was because I mean you're talking about the iconic moment where they come back, to get the rematch,
Hmm. Well, this
huh?
is the original, and then A New Hope is the rematch.
Well, I'm talking like Mustafar,
Oh, okay.
and then
Then
this one, and then
this is round two. This
yeah,
is,
this is round two.
yeah.
So we got Rocky 3 coming up later. Uh, we know how that one works
Right.
out.
We all know how that ends.
And Obi-Wan throws a fight.
Yeah. As a Jedi would.
Yeah. So, but anyway, um, yeah, it's not it's not anything to you know it's not anything to be outright about. I'm not angry.
No.
I'm
it-
very happy to have, you know, to have Lord Vader back. Especially, Hayden came back. That was cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. So, but yeah, uh, shall we move on to Diablo?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One more reason I'm sporting red today.
Because of Diablo. Um,
Yeah.
so Diablo Immortal, it's a game that came out. So I originally thought the game was just mobile only, for
Nope.
mobile or iOS and Android platforms. But the game is out on PCs too. I didn't realize that. Um, I
It
I
is.
I was I was looking forward to it, but I was not excited about it. I was
Mm,
hoping it was going to be a good game. And for the record, to let anybody out there watching, I have not played this game. I haven't watched any videos on it. I haven't watched any of the other streamers playing the game. I have just done some reading,
mm,
and the reading that I have found and the reading that I have done, you said earlier, missed the mark. I think
mm.
Blizzard completely missed the mark. I think they completely just missed the mark on this
Well,
one. You know,
well, we talked about when we were having our early preliminary discussions about this offline, and I told you it's no surprise to me because when it was announced at BlizzCon, the backlash said it all,
yeah,
and the speculation that went on when that backlash happened was that it was going to be exactly what they put out, even though Blizzard denied it.
right.
And here it is, exactly what everybody thought it was going to be.
So,
It is it is a mobile game with the Diablo name slapped on it, and it is a vehicle for loot loot boxes, cash, microtransactions, whatever you want to call it, just like any other mobile game out there.
yep,
And just to put it mildly, I'm as a 20-year Diablo fan, I I don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch it because it's just it makes me kind of nauseous actually.
yeah, I
Because
absolutely,
and I'll tell you, and it might be, and some people might think that that's an overstatement, but I'll tell you why it's not. Is because Diablo has and always probably will be like the game that has me hooked.
hmm
I've managed to quit every other game except Diablo,
except Diablo, same.
and you know this,
Yep,
right?
yep,
So, um, but the things that Blizzard has been doing over the last decade, since Activision, they merged with Activision. We all saw it coming, no surprise, but it's nevertheless not any easier to take
right.
because we got so many good memories in D2. So many, I mean, the two of us have so many good memories in D3,
D3, yep.
right? I mean, after the auction house debacle, we won't talk about that. But obviously, the real money auction house for Diablo 3 was precursor to what Diablo Immortal is.
right.
And the other thing that we were talking about offline and that I wanted to mention here was that this isn't just a game with loot boxes and a store tagged on the end of it. This was built from the ground up
Yep, it was
with
designed that way.
monetization in it,
Yep.
designed from the ground up. We're talking about anybody that's played Diablo 3, you know about rifts. Okay?
hmm
You're talking about you run rifts, you got to pay real money to get higher chances to get gear. I mean, that's just disgusting. I
Yep.
mean, that's just cutting the nuts right off the game, cutting the heart right out. You got to pay to get loot, and I just
No, no. So
yeah,
that's
you
the
don't.
thing. You don't pay to get loot. You pay
Well, you get a chance
a
to get loot,
chance to get loot.
which is a loot box without the loot box.
Right, right, and that's why countries like from the article I read on PC Gamer, countries like Belgium and the Netherlands, they're not
Yeah,
allowing it.
right,
It's not allowed in. I mean, the conversations are still being had and the discussions are still being had trying to get it allowed, but they're not because of the loot boxes. You
right.
pay
Totally.
$10 for a chance to get an item that you're looking for. Well, guess what? You don't get it. You pay another $10 for a chance. Don't get it. Gotta pay
Yeah.
another $10, and it just continues on.
So, and I was asking myself, am I just old? Am I living in? Am I living in the past where the video game industry moved on, and I just didn't want to
Move on with it. I don't
move
know.
on with it. And that's not the case, dude, because I have bought more than my share of um, customization options from stores.
Okay, now see that's the difference, and this goes back to
Right.
a few other conversations. If you want me to spend $10 for customization options that have no impact on the game, that is my choice. That I will spend my money to one help the company
Right.
and spend that money. But if you are basically saying you cannot reach the end game, you cannot make it to this level without spending more money. And I got it. The game is free to play. I
Right.
I get that. It's free to play. The people got to make money. So I
Right.
can understand it. But people will people will still spend the money if the game is enjoyable and it's what they want. But they want to get to end game. And you're basically telling them they're not going to get to end game unless they spend more money. And
Right.
that's foul, in my opinion.
Well, I just like I said, they might have put the Diablo name on it. It might look like a Diablo game, but it's not. It's maybe I'm just you can call me a purist or whatever. I don't care.
I'll call you
Call me
old.
whatever you
I'll call
want,
you.
but it's bullshit. Anyway, look at it. And you know what? The part of the sad thing right now that I'm thinking about is if this shit works, I know what's gonna happen in Diablo 4.
Yep, Diablo 4 is going to be the same exact way because there are people out there that, one, I don't have the type of money to just
Right.
continually keep dumping into a mobile game, or
Well,
even a console or a PC game. I just don't have that type of money. But there are people out there that do have that type of money, and they'll keep chucking money at it because they can. It's
well,
they've got it, and good on them. I'm not knocking them, but they keep doing that. The company keeps thinking, hey, our game plan, our business plan was a success. We're going to keep doing it. And then you got the people, the average Joes like me who can't afford it. They can't do anything. We get to an end point, and the game is pretty
yeah.
much over for us because we just can't afford to. We can't afford to get to end game.
Well, and I know that there are arguments on both sides, and I know I can hear already what other people would say to what you just said because I've heard it before. I mean, I've been on reading both sides of the argument for a long time, but either way you cut it, man, I don't understand. I'd like to hear from somebody. How is it fun? How is it fun to pay to win?
Yep, yep.
You
I'm gonna
know,
get to end game. I'm not going to work for it. I'm not going to grind for it. I'm just gonna, pay the $15, get the legendary item that I want, and all of a sudden I'm the best.
yeah. I
You
don't
know,
know. Maybe it's time for another video game industry crash.
maybe.
I, maybe, I
Don't get me
mean,
wrong. You mentioned Diablo 4 and your concerns that, if this is a success, what it's going to do to Diablo 4. I have the same concerns, but I'm still, fingers crossed, got my hopes up that Diablo 4 is, what I envision it to be. I know
Yeah.
uh, Blizzard, Activision, and possibly Microsoft may have a completely different vision than I do for Diablo 4, but
Yeah.
I got my fingers crossed. I'm really excited about Diablo 4. I really hope it's what we want and what we expect from the Diablo franchise.
Yeah. And there's well, I wanted to mention something too that you said you talked about earlier was that it is a free to play game
Mm,
and they have to make money somehow. Um, and I agree with that. But you know what? They don't have to bake it in.
right,
They could just make a good game
right.
and ask for donations.
And
They could
they'll
make a
give
good
it. The
game.
donations will
Right.
come. If it's a good
They can.
game,
There's a million other things they could do.
yeah.
I
If
mean,
it,
there's a bunch of other things they could do. I mean, they got all the mathematicians working on it. They
hmm
whatever bean counters, accountants. They probably figured out the best way to get the money. But and if you make a good game, you're gonna get paid.
they're going to, again, like I'm pretty sure I said it, and I'm pretty sure I can speak for you. If it's a
Yeah.
good game and I'm enjoying it, I will gladly throw money at it.
I did it with V Rising.
That's right. Yep. I was just about to
I
say
did it
V
last week.
Rising. Yep. V Rising.
I
I
spent.
absolutely love that game.
I bought 20. I bought V Rising, and I played it so much and got so hooked on it that I wanted to support the devs. So I went back and I bought the Founders Pack and the
Dracula.
Relics Pack.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Dracula expansion or DLC or whatever it was.
Right.
Yep. I did.
So
I did the same thing. I did because it was a good game. Again, the gamers will support the devs and the publishers. They will support their game. They will dump money into it. It's just got to be a
now
good game.
it is. So here is the caveat on that. It's, and I don't know if we mentioned this yet or not, but it is still in early access,
V
and
Rising, yeah.
we don't know what's to come.
Yeah.
So if my if we end up getting some things baked in later, I'm gonna I'll eat my hat, I guess.
I mean,
Prov- you know, not literally, but I will.
we both will.
I'll eat.
We
Yeah.
both will. But I won't feel bad about it because
Right.
for the stuff that I had at the current time when I made that decision, I was satisfied. I was happy.
Yeah.
You know. Now anything that happens from this point on is the developers making changes or the publishers making changes. I can't control any of that. Now,
Right.
if I'm not happy with it, guess what? They probably won't get any more of my money.
Yeah.
You know, but up until this point, I will throw my money at it because I'm very happy with what I have and what I see right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they
And
didn't force us to do it.
mm,
They
no.
didn't make it mandatory for us to buy the
And
like
then
the founders pack.
yeah, and in the case of Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, I didn't have five fucking ads popping up every time I tried to change screens. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah, I do know what you mean, and so I play Galaxy of Heroes also, and those ads don't bother me. I don't mind the pop-up ads like that because I can just close them down and keep going. What does bother me is the ads that are video and time gated.
right.
It's a video and I can't do anything with it. So for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, I got to sit there and watch this. I'm forced to watch the ad.
I'll put it out there.
That's
If
what I can't stand.
if they have a free to play game, if they like the if they have a free to play game, give me a subscription pass.
Yeah,
Give me a subscription option
right.
where I can pay to get some sort of premium service.
Yeah,
They
Tor.
do it with yeah, yeah, Star Wars: The Old Republic
Yep.
MMO. You can play 100% for free, but you get those limitations.
hmm
You pay your monthly subscription fee, and then everything's unlocked.
Yep.
And then people still spend money
On the
on
cartel,
cosmetics
yeah, on
in
the
the
cartel
store
market. Yep.
on the cartel market. So I mean, you'll still get your cash.
They'll get it. They will.
You don't have to fucking bake it into the random chances for loot.
That's the worst. That's the worst part. If I spend my $10 trying to get, let's say, this legendary sword,
Uh,
motherfucker, I better get my goddamn sword. I just bought. No, not in this game. You spend
yeah,
$10 for a chance to get the sword? That's
yeah,
crap. That's crap. That's absolute crap. I that's
I don't know.
that's
Uh,
shit.
but, well, maybe we beat that horse long
Yeah,
enough.
that horse is glue now. It's glue now.
Yeah. Um. I don't know. I'm just. But
All right, so
yeah.
we're gonna run through a quick recap.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, the TV series. We're both happy with it. We both think it could be better. There are things that would greatly improve it, but it's not a bad show.
Yeah.
It's not a bad show. I would still rate it higher than Boba Fett. Boba Fett's not a bad show either. It's just not very good.
Bro, come on, man.
What
Come on, Bubba.
are you talking about? Boba Fett had the Power Rangers in it. You can't beat that.
Dude, what they call them, the mods? I
I don't even know.
I thought it was a fucking April Fool's joke. It- When that came out and like I started seeing the screenshot memes on Facebook before I got a chance to watch the episode, I thought people were joking. I thought it was some kind
Photoshopping
of
it.
Photoshop. I was like, "What the hell is this?" And you were like, "Just watch it. Just watch it." I was just,
Yep.
uh, yeah. Anyway,
Um, and Diablo Immortal, again, from words from two people that have not played the game. Um,
yeah, and I won't. I won't.
See, there's a part of me that I'm
Go
really
for it.
I'm curious because it is free. It
Yeah.
is free, so I'm not losing anything but time.
Yeah.
You know, um, so I'm greatly considering trying it out. And then when I get to my first, oh, I can't beat this boss because I don't have this gear. To get this gear, pay this money. Okay, game's
Yeah.
gone. You
Well,
know, game's gone. Um, so Bane is absolutely against Diablo Immortal. I'm against
you still
it,
need it.
but I'm open. I'm open to considering it.
Now, I do want to explain that real quick though.
Okay,
The reason why is because, like I said, what year did they announce it? Was that
it's
19? Was it
no
20?
20. Yeah, 20.
Anyway, since they announced it in BlizzCon, it's been in the news. The backlash, the what's going on with it, when's it coming out. I did follow it. I
Hmm.
did follow all of it because I was hoping it wasn't going to be what everybody thought it was going to be. And over that time, as I saw it progressing into what everyone says it is now, I have already prepared myself that I'm just not going to play it
Right.
because I played enough blood wallet sucking mobile games. I don't need to. There's just one more in the stable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't honestly believe it's a Diablo experience.
Hmm.
That's why I think it's just an. Anyway, that's my point.
Okay. So it's you feel like it's just not Diablo. It's another
I mean,
game, like you said earlier. It's another game entirely with a Diablo skin on it.
it is because another studio made it, and basically they got permission uh, from Blizzard to put Diablo on it,
Hmm.
and that was again, if you go back and read the backlash from the announcement, that's what all of that was saying. You know,
Yep.
so
All right. So there is our second controllers and coffee, Obi-Wan Kenobi review or discussion, and Diablo Immortal discussion. Anybody who does watch this, give us. We would love your support. You know, we're trying to get to a certain level out here. So by all means, show us your support. Support Lord Vader. Support Bane. We will continue to put these out. Hopefully, we can keep this going and doing the controllers and
Yeah.
coffee weekly. We'll keep talking about different things. And if you guys have any suggestions, by all means, let us hear it. Send us a whisper or shoot us a message. And
Yeah.
if we can execute it, we will.
Yeah. And shout out to Lycan Goddess and Chloe for allowing me to drop into their GTA game earlier. That was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
After Bane left, I jumped in with Lycan and Chloe. Played some GTA 5 online. It's always a good time. Always a good time
Yeah,
running with them. All right.
man. Alrighty.
Any last words, Bane?
No, that's it.
All
That
right.
was
We'll
my
see
last.
everybody later.
All right. Thank you.